These guys are haters,
I
man.
love these guys.
All these football fans on the survey.
It's great
Who's got time to fill out a survey?
It's great.
Seriously, who's filling out football surveys?
They found 200 knowledgeable fans. It's incredible. How have they done that? I'm so surprised by that.
I can't find one.
We got fans from the rest of the Premier League to take a survey about Man City and Crystal Palace, and you've got to argue it out and decide which of your clubs was the top answer.
Let's do it. Looking forward to it, mate.
Feels like speed dating.
We asked the rest of the Premier League who has had the better season.
I mean, in terms of position, obviously City, but in terms of like, if you relate it to what that club
relative
wants,
to,
I think it's Palace.
I'd agree. It's been shocking this season. It's been shocking.
Yeah.
And by the way,
you've been lower than your bar. We've been higher than our bar.
And let's be real. The privilege we have in January of signing the best player in Germany, Marmoush, Nico Gonzalez, £50 million, a couple of centre backs for 70, 80 million pounds combined. We're very lucky to have that, and we still can't even beat Southampton in a big game for the top 5. No, it's really frustrating, isn't it?
We have to be so spot on with our recruitment. Yeah. We have to make every player has to work. Every player has to be someone that we can then buy for 20 million, sell for 50. That's our model. But they're making it work. They're doing really well. Wharton, fantastic. Eze's brilliant.
Gahey's a great signing. Munoz is fantastic.
Munoz is like £11 million. It's
outrageous.
We, turned Tyrick Mitchell from an academy player into a world-class left back. Like, I do think
world-class, big shout.
I think
world-class.
What's one below world-class?
Just
Premier League class.
He's a good Premier League
class.
I mean, world-class. Come on.
But I think if you'd said to a Palace fan to start the season, you'll finish 12th, potentially higher, 11th and 10th. You'll get to a cup final. You'll have a run where you win 7 away games on the bounce without conceding. Yeah. You'll play some of the best football you've ever played.
Can I say as well, you kept Wharton in January. I'm sure there was interest. You've kept the spine.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't sold your big names.
And do you know what, actually, Elise was one, literally, the first time he kicked the ball for Palace, you were like, he's gone. He's going in a year.
He's that good.
But we've managed to keep Gahey for 3-4 years, Eze for 4 years, Mateta. What Glasner's done with Mateta is mad. Like, 18 months ago, he didn't have to kick a football.
Yeah.
So I think
you could be in Europe if you win the FA Cup final. You could be in Europe.
Do you know what though?
Amazing.
I don't think I can afford to go to Ruben Kazan next season.
That's a long one. That
yeah. It's going to be big. Yeah. But I think they'll say Palace.
I think Palace. 70%.
But also, everyone's been talking this season about how City have dropped off and how it hasn't been a big season. So that will impact the vote, surely.
Yeah. It's been poor.
Yeah.
It has been poor by Pep standards. There is an expectation if you spend that much money, you can't be getting smashed by Arsenal, getting smashed by PSG, if we get smashed by Palace in the final, lose to Palace in the final. That would be a frustrating season. Back-to-back losses in FA Cup finals to Man United and Palace would be a really frustrating
and not a good United team.
No, exactly, and that would be frustrating. But to get to the final and have a go and potentially win that would be a special season. There's no question about that.
But you want more. Like, start the season, you'd have wanted more than that.
Yeah, but then also I'm saying to rival fans, like, why is it incumbent upon City to win 5 in a row to keep a title challenge going? I think City are entitled to fall off a little bit, not in the way that we did in November, December, like getting smashed by Tottenham Hotspur and all these sides, Bournemouth and Brighton. But there has to be some expectation. If you win 4 in a row, there has to be a rejuvenation of the squad.
The odds of you doing 5 in a row actually would be insane. But I think when you keep winning, people expect it.
Yeah, I know.
People just see you winning and think, well, they're going to win again this season.
Yeah, 100%.
And you've still got De Bruyne, you've still got Haaland, you've still got Pep, you've still got Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, Gundogan's in there as well.
You've still got Guardiola.
Yeah, there's a few that need to go out in the summer, I think, and then go again next season.
We asked the rest of the Premier League who has had the better season, and 57% said Crystal Palace.
Ooh, that's tight. I'm surprised by that. I thought more would say Palace. Unless maybe they think Palace should be doing better. So it is a really good time to be a Palace fan. It is so fun. So I'm surprised by that. I thought they'd say more, but I'll take it. It's another win for Palace. So
100%. Yeah, keep winning these ones.
We asked the rest of the Premier League which club's manager has had the bigger impact.
I think I have to take control of this one.
Right, I am going to push back a bit.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're saying bigger impact over the last decade, it's got to be City, right?
Even the last...
But biggest impact in the last 18 months?
Well, Pep's won 4 titles in a row in the last 18 months.
Yeah, but in terms of like taking a team that was like heading for relegation under Hodgson and turning them into cup finalists 18 months later.
I like Glasner.
He's had an incredible...
Let's not overshoot Glasner versus Guardiola. Guardiola's won 4 titles in a row in the last 18 months.
What Glasner's done for us in the last 18 months is huge. I'm not taking away from what Pep's done.
No,
I mean,
no.
that is he's changed English football. Like, he's won multiple titles.
I think if it was like one title out of nowhere, he'd spent £1 billion. It was one title, but the fact that in the last 18 months it was the 4th title in a row. We had an English player winning PFA Player of the Year, Phil Foden. I know he's had a poor season this season, but give me the last English player to win the PFA Player of the Year award. It's many, many years ago.
But what he's done with players in the past, he is great.
He's got 3 FA Cup finals in a row.
Listen, in terms of like influencing football, brilliant. In terms of influencing touchline attire, those cardigans, fantastic. Right, he's changed the way managers dress. He's changed. So many managers in the last 5-10 years have tried to replicate his system. They all play inverted fullbacks now because of Pep.
Yeah. So it has to be.
I don't think
Palace from 12th to 12th. Like, come on, man. I can't overshoot this Glasgow guy. Oh, he's playing 3-5-2. Fine.
Yeah, but if you ask a Palace fan, I think they'd say he's the most impactful manager, definitely in the Premier League, possibly we've ever had.
You always come 12th, respectfully.
But, fine, and we love 12th. Believe me, 12th is our home. Absolutely, we love returning to 12th.
And the FA Cup final was great.
Cup final was massive for us. We're a much smaller club than you. We don't have success. These things matter to us. These are big. And actually, finishing 12 is actually huge for us.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
You know,
but 4 in a row is. I mean, we're talking about the greats and the great Liverpool sides, the great Manchester United sides under Sir Alex Ferguson throughout the last 100 years of English football. No one's ever won 4 in a row in the last 18 months.
I know. I can't.
You have to put Pep above Glasner. As much as I like Glasner,
I just like arguing with you, but like it is like I do. You can't. I don't think it'll be.
It's not massive.
It's not 90%. It might be 55. But like I think you can't argue what he's done. But I do think let's return in 5 years' time. I think Glasner could be. It'll be more in the middle. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
If Glasner's still at Palace, it'd probably be a City.
Let's say Pep was at Palace. Do you think he'd do crazy things at Crystal Palace with a limited squad? You know, like Glasner's doing very, very well. Do you think Pep would? Do you think Pep? You know that argument with football fans that you need to spend hundreds of millions of pounds. I don't buy it. I think he's a genius coach.
I think he would turn. I think he'd do similar to what Glasner's doing. He would turn average players into great players. Yeah. Whether that be enough to win titles, I don't know, because they wouldn't be world-class players when he's got them. He'd probably, like we did with Elise, turn them into players, sell them on for 80 million, because that's Palace's model.
Yeah. But you think he'd do well at Palace?
I think he'd do.
Yeah,
he'd do well anywhere.
I can't believe he gets slagged off for that.
He's won titles in Spain, Germany, England. Right, so the 3 biggest leagues. So you can't deny that.
2 trebles.
I like him a lot.
Not 1 treble.
He's also
2 trebles.
He's also really forcing a trail for bald men in football, which I think is really important. You know?
Yeah.
He's reduced the stigma of baldness in football. Yeah. I think that's almost as important as 4 Champions Leagues, or whatever it is.
Okay, guys. We asked the rest of the Premier League which club's manager has had the bigger impact, and 95% said Man City.
Wow, that's actually more than I thought.
He's changed the club. He has changed the club.
I can't really argue with that. But again, let's come back in 5 years' time.
100%.
We asked the rest of the Premier League which club is better at hyping up a mediocre player.
It's probably Palace.
What does that mean? It's probably Palace. What, because we have more mediocre players?
Yeah, and you need to cheer behind people.
But what does it mean? Hyping up
well, a minute ago you said Mitchell was world class. And you said that casually.
Yeah. You've referenced that quite a few times now.
I've had to challenge you on it, but that's an example, you know what I mean? So I think actually Man City players get underrated.
I've just given you an example of hyping up mediocre players.
Exactly. It's difficult when when I was a kid.
You don't have mediocre players.
No, exactly. But when I was a kid, I used to say Sean Wright-Phillips was the next best thing since sliced bread. Seriously, I did.
Jamie Pollock.
He went, but Sean Wright-Phillips went to Chelsea, and Chelsea. I know Chelsea fans that they forgot he even played for them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's similar for you lot.
Who's your most mediocre player? You don't really have any.
Who's our most mediocre player right now? I don't know. They're all probably. They'd all start for Palace, wouldn't they?
They'd all.
With all due respect.
Yeah, they probably would. I mean,
Mateus Nunes, is that fair? Maybe he's a good Premier League player. I don't think he's world class.
He's probably your most mediocre player, and he's probably better than most players in the Premier League. But
that's starting midfield for you.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Palace.
Yeah, of course.
Because we probably have more quote-unquote mediocre players.
Who do you overhype, do you think, genuinely?
I think we overhype anyone. I actually think our fans are sometimes quite quick to jump on players.
Henderson, do you overhype him?
Oh, no, I think he's quality. I think he's our best ever keeper.
Best ever keeper?
He's up there.
Is he better than Speroni?
Yeah. World class?
I think he is world class. I actually think he's England's number 2. I think he could.
Ramsdale's in there as well. That don't mean nothing.
He could push Pickford for 1, I think. What
year are we talking about? 24?
The year of our Lord 2025. He is so consistent. I don't know why I said that. I'm not religious. He is so consistent. He's so consistent. He's honestly,
an okay Premier League
But
keeper.
I think he's one of these players that if you're not watching him week in, week out, which, you know,
No,
without
of course.
respect, you're not.
Of course, yeah.
Then I don't think you see what he does. Like, he makes at least one huge save a game. Honestly, Palace fans rate him, and he is good. He's not our most mediocre player.
England number one.
Yeah, genuinely.
I know Palace fans that overhype Hughes a little bit. Hughes gets a lot of love. I'm just like, how's he still kicking about for them lot?
It's not love because we're not saying like, oh, he's one of the Premier League's best midfielders.
Okay,
it's love because of what he does. It's context.
Yeah.
Like he plays on the pitch like we would as fans. He'll kick other players, like breaks up play. He can play a bit. No one's out there saying, oh, he's better than Rodri.
No, of course not.
But we love him for what he does.
What about City? Is there any? Because for me, I look at Riyad Mahrez. I think he's got a better Premier League legacy than Mohamed Salah. That's my opinion.
I think Mahrez is brilliant.
I say Rodri's one of the greats of all time in this position of all time.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that, in terms of our great players, that you think we overrate? Aguero?
No, I loved Aguero.
Yeah.
Loved Aguero.
I'm glad to hear you.
Won me a lot of fantasy points down the years. Grealish, maybe?
I think he's so underrated.
You think he's underrated?
So underrated.
I think he's overrated.
You think he's overrated?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
I
so
like
good.
him. I like him a lot. As a person, he seems like a fantastic
If he's fit for the
person.
final, he has to start on the left. He has to, in my opinion.
I
He has to
think
start.
I feel like he's sort of not a one-trick pony, but I feel like he's got enough to his game. Like he'll run at players and do a bit of skills and stuff.
And
But I
give
don't
it
think
off.
he has
Yeah.
much more. But I like him as a person. Like, he's a fantastic
He's
person.
fun footballer, isn't he? Yeah.
But for £100 million, I don't think he's maybe quite repaid that.
Potentially.
But he's fun.
He is
I'd
fun.
have him at Palace because he's fun. He's fun to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, he'd do well for you lot. Yeah,
He would.
100%.
Him and Eze.
Oh, wow.
I think Eze could do it, City. I do. I don't think many players could. And in fact, actually, out of our squad, it's probably Eze and Wharton. I think the two players that maybe could
I'd take
do it.
Wharton in a heartbeat. I think he'd start alongside Rodri. Eze wouldn't start.
You don't think? He feels very City, though.
I don't know.
Really?
But we're linked with Gibbs White. I think Gibbs White is near enough either.
I think Eze's better than Gibbs White.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'll tell you what Ebbs' issue
Slightly
is.
different players.
They're different players. Ebbs' issue is consistency. He does have some games that pass him by, but when he's on it,
he's unplayable.
He's unplayable.
The issue would be, in terms of the transfer, would be the age as well, close to 30.
Yeah.
If he's 21 doing what he's doing at Palace, it's like,
Whereas
wow.
Wharton's like, what, 23, 24?
Yeah,
I think there's a world where Eze maybe has missed that boat and
yeah.
might do a will for
But that's not the worst thing in the world.
Oh, I'd love it.
You don't always have to move to Chelsea for 100 million. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do, Dewsbury
I'm
or
worried.
Neto. You don't have to.
I'm worried Eze's going to move to Spurs.
I hope not
I think
for
it
you.
might happen.
I hope
Which
not.
I think would ruin his legacy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It'll be
60% Palace, I'd say.
50% Palace.
Yeah.
We asked the rest of the Premier League which club is better at hyping up a mediocre player, and 60% said City.
These guys are haters,
I
man.
love these guys.
All these football fans on the
It's
survey.
great they
Who's got
found-
time to fill out a survey?
It's great.
Seriously, who's filling out football surveys?
They found 200 knowledgeable fans. It's incredible. How have they done that? I'm so surprised by that.
I can't find one.
We asked the rest of the Premier League which club do you respect the most?
Flip it this way. Do you think people respect you for winning titles? No.
Why are you so quick to that one? No. I think there's an element of disrespect in terms of the investment. Why did Man City get the investment? I understand
But
that.
other clubs are now getting the investment.
But what's happened on the pitch in terms of De Bruyne, one of the Premier League greats, David Silva, Sergio Aguero, these guys have changed Premier League football in the last 10 years.
I think it depends who you ask. I think if you're asking players and managers, respect for City would be higher. I think Premier League fans, I don't think they're respecting that. They're thinking about the empty seats, the charges.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring it up again.
Of course, yeah.
They're thinking about Palace's fans, Palace's ballers, for want of a
Eze's
phrase
a
that
fantastic
40-year-old
story.
shouldn't
Adam
be
Wharton.
saying.
Yeah, 100%.
exactly. I think people respect that more than maybe title success. I actually think the more you win, I think you get less respect from fans.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So I think actually the more we don't win, we get more respect, and that's why we do it.
Yeah, I'd agree with
We
that.
intentionally don't win just so we get more respect from the rest of the Premier League. The respect is on the fans and the way they bring it at games. I think the way the team plays football, some of the quality we've got in the team, Eze, Mateta, Sarr, Gahey, Wharton. When we had Elise, obviously he was unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
The manager, almost in a way, I think they respect the fact that we've got a bit of a rundown ground. That seems to matter to fans, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love Selhurst, but it needs
old
a lick of
stadium.
paint.
Yeah.
It's literally 100 years old.
Yeah.
I think when you have a new stadium, fans turn up and they think, oh right, here we go. Like
Yeah.
what's this like cereal bowl of a stadium?
Yeah.
I think it matters when you've got a
100%.
stadium that's a bit run down. I think that all matters to fans. I think we're agreeing for this one, it's Palace. I think we're going to go pretty big.
I'm going 90%.
I think 70, 80, I'll take 90, but I think they're going to say Palace.
Yeah.
We asked the rest of the Premier League which club do you respect the most, And 60% said Crystal Palace.
Ooh.
Yeah, you won that one as well.
You're just letting me have wins before Saturday when you smash us 6-0.
Oh my God, it's me. I live in the past, mate.
Are you having an existential crisis?
So.
You're right.
Well, I'm just sort of realising, I'm like, Arsenal have been a joke for 20 years.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. Oh, mate, do you want to...
It's like only hitting me now. And I know people will be like, we've all been saying this to you for a long time. I've not been listening.